this edition of the M+M Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Michael.
What's going on?
And today we'll be delving into the MLS world.
So, Saturday, August 22nd, Toronto FC beat Orlando 5-0. Orlando suffered 2 red cards in that game, and Toronto just had a complete great game right there. DC United took on San Jose at RFK Stadium, and San Jose came out with a 2-0 win, which helps the Red Bulls in conference standings. Then Columbus took on Sporting KC, and Columbus wins 3-2. Philadelphia took on Montreal in Montreal, and Philadelphia gets a 1-0 win with a Sebastian Letou goal. Colorado Rapids beat the Chicago Fire 1-0 in Chicago. And then Vancouver wins 1-0 against FC Dallas. And finally, Real Salt Lake wins 2-0 against Seattle. Which then, Sunday, the big game, LA Galaxy took on the NYCFC at Staple StubHub Center in LA. And LA just completely demolished NYCFC. They win 5-1. Robbie Keane had a great game, 2 goals, 2 assists, I believe, and Giovanni Dos Santos had a goal. So it was a great all-around Galaxy win. They looked really good. Their team is playing great once they need it. So NYCFC falls again, and not surprised they lose to a hot LA Galaxy. So I don't know who's going to beat them. It's going to be tough coming into playoff time. So now the Red Bulls come in Wednesday against Chicago Fire, the worst team in the MLS, which you can't underestimate teams like them because they have nothing to lose now because they're not going to really make the playoffs. So what's your predictions, Matt?
For the Red Bulls' long-term prediction, especially going into the playoffs, the Red Bulls are looking very hot right now. As long as they don't lose steam, they should be great going into October, into the playoffs. If they do lose steam, which may happen, considering they're on a hot streak, the main thing is they just have to keep the fire fueled. Yeah. And they gotta make sure, they have to make sure that they don't stop with the consistency. They have to keep very consistent.
Exactly. I just think that if the Red Bulls win Wednesday, I just think that they're gonna beat DC. I just think if they lose against Chicago, a team that's the worst in the MLS right now, it's just gonna really show. And I think they need to win this game, both games, DC and Chicago, to then boost up into first place in the Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference. But playoff wise, I think the Red Bulls are going to obviously make the playoffs. They're second right now, playing hot, like you said, Matt. The defense is playing outstanding. Just thing is, Perrinell, Matt Miazga, the back four in general, they need to watch how they play at times because Perrinell could get a red card any game. He's gotten one many times. Matt Miazga has gotten a couple of red cards over his career, and the back four, and also injuries and yellow card accumulations with Perrinell. And thing is, when we needed players to step up, like we met when he stepped up against Toronto, when Perrinell had the yellow card accumulation, he played fantastic, just like Connor Lay did when Chris Duval got injured against the Cosmos in a U.S. Open Cup game. Anthony Wallace, same. Kamar Lawrence got injured, hamstring problem, and Anthony Wallace performed, which now Roy Miller's the third string left back now. The back four needs to keep playing good. Dax McCarty and Felipe are playing fantastic. They're now connecting. Sasha is starting to play better, even though he's tired. He's been playing soccer nonstop because he came from Belgium, which they were ending their season, I believe, when he came over. And also Bradley Wright Phillips is playing fantastic, has 11 goals right now and playing fantastic. It shows that he doesn't need Henry at all times to assist him. And Grella is playing fantastic, starting. It's hard to take him out of the starting 11 when you have Gonzalo Varone and Sean Wright Phillips, and Lloyd Sam is just Lloyd Sam, just fantastic, like usual. So, Matt, questions. Do you think Bradley Wright Phillips is gonna still keep scoring like this?
Yeah, I think that right now, for now at least, he looks good. He looks very strong, especially in the attacking, getting passes through, and just putting it into the back of the net. So I think for now, Bradley Wright Phillips looks good.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just because I know the Red Bulls are being tired lately. Like Dax McCarty said after the NYCFC game, he said he couldn't feel his legs. They haven't stopped playing, non-stop playing. So now getting this break, couple days in between playing now Chicago, I think they're gonna definitely look sharper and look fresh. Especially Sasha. Sasha didn't have a really good game against Toronto, as we said in the last podcast, and I think he's gonna look better tomorrow, I believe. And I just think, where do you think Gonzalo Varone? Because I know people think he's gonna end up starting. People think he's gonna be the next big guy next year. This is just for next year, not now. Even Sean Wright Phillips, people think he'll start over Grella. But where do you think the left mid position? Who do you think is gonna end up being there when the playoffs start?
It's really early to make predictions, especially about that. We haven't really we've seen a little bit of Gonzalo Varone and Sean Wright Phillips play, and they did do a very good job, job. But the game was also pretty much in hand.
Yeah.
So there's that. But for now, I think it's just gonna stay in the status quo. I think it's
Grella.
I think Grella is gonna stay there. The only way that Grella goes out is if he is just in poor form, or maybe if he gets injured. Really, if he's not playing well, or if they just do a rotation. Especially later when the schedule gets tight.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Because we're going to have a couple games, I believe, in, September. It's going to be, back-to-back. We have, Wednesday night games, how we have... So he might start Gonzalo Varone or Sean Wright Phillips and then have Grella, still stay fit for the next game against DC. Or maybe have Grella and then you start Gonzalo Varone. It does, hey, if Varone plays good, let's say he plays great against Chicago. Let's say he starts. Let's say... he starts over Grella and he scores 2 goals and gets 2 assists, let's say. What do you think in Jesse Marsh's spot? Do you think he's gonna start Grella, or do you think you go with still hot Varone if, let's say, he does play like that and you have to? For me, I think you gotta play him because against DC, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. It's a rivalry game. You gotta play him. What would you say?
I would say that Jesse Marsh is just gonna pick who's ever more consistent. It's great if he's hot, but what if Varone just is a player that runs on hotness, and then, when the heat dies down, then he's not consistent, or he's great some games but not others. And as long as Grella stays consistent, then he's got a nice spot there. The only way is if Grella just doesn't look as good compared to Varone.
Which I think next year Varone's going to end up starting, but Grella's playing outstanding, like you said. Also, even if let's say the Rebels do get an injury, let's say Felipe gets injured, you also have the bench is looking really good because you have Sean Davis, a great homegrown player. He's just he's young too, 27 years old, versatile player, could play attacking, play defensive mid. He's a very great good talent. He's going to be definitely the next big star in the MLS. What do you think about? Do you think Matt Miazga is going to keep playing? Because starting, do you think he's going to stay consistent like this? Because he's still young, inexperienced. Because last year he didn't play so hot, and he didn't really play as much under Mike Pecky. Once he got those red cards and he started playing bad, he lost his confidence. Do you think he's going to stay this consistent?
Matt Miazga, I think, as long as he really doesn't get really awful, he'll be fine. We have a lot of depth in the midfield, but our depth is good enough in the defense, but it's not like it's if you don't play great, then you lose your spot. It's not really like that, especially in the defense. So I think Matt Miazga should be fine, for now, at least.
Good. And now, final prediction. What do you expect the score to be? Chicago versus the Red Bulls tomorrow night.
The main thing is, are the Red Bulls gonna start off strong? Mm-hmm. And, are they eventually, I think as if they start strong, then going out of halftime, you can get some subs in, especially play Verone, play Phillips, play the less experienced guys. So I'm thinking a 3-0 victory.
3-0. I'm gonna say 2-0 Red Bulls. I just think the defense is playing so strong right now. I don't think they're gonna let up a goal against a poor team in Chicago, but you never know. Because we played against Giovinco, Kaká, and they both didn't score. So I think they're gonna pull out a shutout. Also, Robles is playing fantastic, so I can't really see a goal getting past them. Only if they really come out just completely asleep and they just come out scoring 2 goals right away, Chicago. But I don't think that's gonna happen. And I just think Bradley Wright Phillips has been off form. He's gonna score. Lloyd Sam's just gonna be tearing up that right side, and the team's just gonna play overall a great game, I think, and 2-0 victory would be nice. So that's it for the this episode of the M+M podcast. We'll be back with another episode after the DC United game.